Hello and welcome to this quick yoga flow just for tight ankles and calves. Let's begin in a seated position in the middle of the mat. You can cross your legs, place your hands on your knees, close your eyes if that feels good to you. We'll just take a few grounding breaths. Take a deep breath in and expand your chest outward. Exhale your shoulder blades together and down your spine. Take another deep breath like that, lifting your chest up towards the sky. And exhale your shoulder blades down and together. Take another deep breath in, lift your arms up overhead, reaching up, turning your chin upwards. And exhale your right hand down to the ground and reach over to the right side with your left hand. You can push against the ground with your right hand. Turn your gaze towards the left. Take slow, deep breaths, expanding your chest so it's not all crimped up. And on your next inhale, lift both hands up overhead. And then exhale your left hand down to the ground, reaching all the way to the left with your right hand, turning your gaze to the right side. And push against the ground with your left hand to feel that stretch on the right side of your body. And on your next inhale, lift both hands up overhead again. And exhale, turn your body to the right and drop your right hand behind you and your left hand on your right knee for a nice twist, turning your gaze as far back as you can. When you take deep breaths here, lift your chest upward. And then on your next inhale, turn back to the front, lifting your arms up overhead. Exhale to the left, reaching back with your left hand. Bringing your right hand to your left knee and twisting all the way back. And inhale, coming back to center, reaching your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together at heart center. And now come onto all fours into tabletop position. Place your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips or a little bit wider. We'll just move through a few cat-cows to warm up the spine and body. Take a deep breath in, lifting your chin and your tailbone towards the sky. And then exhale, tucking your chin and tailbone underneath. Another deep breath in, coming into cow pose, lifting your tailbone and your chin up, dropping your belly button to the floor. And then exhaling, tucking your chin and tailbone and reaching your shoulders up towards the sky. And then you can move through this at your own pace, following your breath, taking a really long time to move through the inhale and exhale. Start to rock back and forth as you're moving through this cat-cow, bringing your hips back over your heels, and then going a little bit past your wrists. I like to do the cow pose when I'm reaching my hips back towards my heels, lifting my tailbone up, and then cat pose coming over my wrists, bringing my hips forward towards my wrists. And then you can start to make big circles with your hips, going in front of your knees to the side of your mat, then back towards your heels, all while doing the cat-cow with your spine, just playing with your body a little bit and moving in this tabletop. And then come back to center, finding stillness. Spread your knees as wide as your mat, and then sink your heels back and come into a wide-legged child's pose, resting your forehead on the mat. And take a few deep breaths here, expanding your chest to fill the gap between your body and the floor. Now lift your head off of the mat and lift your hips, coming back into tabletop position, bringing your knees under your hips. Walk your hands forward just a few inches, tuck your toes, and then come up into downward facing dog, lifting your hips up towards the sky. And take a few moments to pedal out your feet, bending one leg deeply and then the other. Don't forget to breathe here. Everything you do takes slow, methodical breaths. Now finding stillness in this downward facing dog, take a deep breath in and expand your chest so that it moves towards your thighs. And then exhale, lifting your tailbone and letting your head just hang towards the mat. And you can sway your hips back and forth, stretching out your spine and your back here. Now coming back to stillness in the center, straighten your legs as much as is comfortable for you. We're just going to find a really strong downward facing dog so we can feel the stretch in the backs of our legs. You can keep your legs bent if that's more comfortable for you. But find stillness and root your hands and feet firmly in the ground and lift your tailbone up towards the sky. Roll your biceps forward to the front of your mat and then a little bit out, and feel the space it creates between your shoulder blades. Breathe very deeply here. And on your next inhale, lift your right leg up, straight back as far as you can, and then bend your right knee and tuck your right heel towards your lower back. And then push your hips over to the right side of your mat and feel a nice stretch in your right hip as much as you can. And release your right foot back down to the ground, and we'll do the same on the other side. Take a deep breath in, lifting your left leg up, and then bend your left knee and bring your heel to your lower back, pushing your hips to the left side of your mat. And breathe slowly here so that way your body isn't all tense and you can find the relaxation in this posture. And release your left foot to the ground, coming back into downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet a little bit. And then you can walk, step, or jump, whatever way you can find yourself at the front of the mat in a forward fold with your feet together and your body just hanging over your legs. You can release your hands and your neck and just let gravity pull on your body. Bend your legs deeply and bring your body close to your thighs. You can sway back and forth. And then slowly, one vertebra at a time, roll up to standing, letting your head hang against your chest as you roll up. And then when you get to standing, take a deep breath in and lift your hands up overhead. And then on the exhale, grab your hands and reach over to the right, turning your gaze to the left and pushing your hips to the left as well. Another deep breath in, straightening and reaching both hands up. And then exhale your hands to the left, pushing your hips to the right. Open your shoulders forward and up so that way they're not all collapsed. Take a deep inhale, reaching your hands back to center and up. And exhale, hands together at heart center. Release your hands to your sides. And now take your right foot and cross it over your left and about 5 inches forward, a little bit in front of your right or your left foot. And then slowly planting firmly on your right foot, lift your left heel and then begin to bend your knees and lower your hips towards your left heel. You can put your hands on the ground or on some blocks to help you balance. You might need to move your right foot forward a little bit. Your right foot is basically like a kickstand for this posture, helping you find balance. And you should be resting on your left heel now. And you can stay here with your hands on the ground or on some blocks, or if you would like a little bit of an extra balance, cross your arms in front of you in eagle arms with your right arm underneath, and then bring your palms together and hold, taking a few deep breaths here, feeling the stretch in your left foot, ankle, and calf. And release both hands down to the ground, and then straighten your legs and come into a forward fold with your right foot still in front of your left. You can move it back a little bit to make it more comfortable. Let your head just drop and take a few breaths here. Slowly, one vertebra at a time, and with slightly bent knees, roll yourself up to standing. Uncross your legs, bring your feet back together. Take a deep breath in, reaching your hands up overhead. And exhale, forward fold all the way down, your hands to the ground or your shins, wherever you can reach. Take a few breaths here, just relaxing, letting gravity pull on your body. You can bend your knees a lot. Now straighten your right leg and bend your left knee a lot. Plant your left hand onto the ground or a block, and then take a deep breath in and reach your right hand up towards the sky and turn your gaze to look at your right fingertips. Release your right hand down to the ground. Now bend your right leg a lot and straighten your left leg. Plant your right hand down on the floor or a block and take a deep breath in, reaching your left hand up towards the sky, turning your gaze to look at your left fingertips. And release your left hand down to the ground. And pedal out your legs here with your hands on the ground or on some blocks, bending one leg and then the other. And then finding stillness with both legs, slowly, one vertebra at a time, roll yourself back up to standing. Now take your left foot and cross it over your right a few inches in front of your right foot. And planting your left foot firmly, lift your right heel a little bit and begin to bend your knees, coming down into a squat over your right heel. You might need to move your left foot forward a little bit so that it's firmly planted on the ground and helps you balance. You can leave your hands here on the ground or on some blocks, or if you would like a little extra balancing challenge, bring your arms to eagle pose with your left arm underneath and your palms touching each other. And take a few deep breaths here. Release your hands back to the ground, and then straighten your legs and bring your left foot a little bit closer to your right foot, and then just hang. Let gravity pull your head and your body down. You can have your hands on blocks or on the ground. Take a couple breaths here. And then with a slight bend in your knees, slowly roll up to standing, one vertebra at a time. And then bring your feet back together, shake out your legs a little bit. Take a deep breath in, reach your arms up overhead. And then exhale, forward fold your hands down to the ground or your shins. Take a deep breath in, planting your hands down, lift your head and your back towards the front of your mat. And then exhale, forward fold once again, letting your body come close to your legs. Now plant your hands firmly on the ground and then step your feet back to plank pose. Take a moment to find a straight line between your ankles, knees, hips, and shoulders. Take a deep breath here. Again, expanding your chest in between your shoulders. And then slowly exhale and lower yourself, keeping your elbows tight against your body. Before you touch the ground, lift back up into upward facing dog, untucking your toes and keeping your legs off the ground if you can. Drop your knees and then push your hips back, coming into a tabletop pose with your knees together. Now tuck your toes and then come upright, sitting back on your heels. And then take a deep breath, reaching your right arm all the way up and then bringing your palm in between your shoulder blades behind you. And then you can take your left hand and put it on your right elbow for a nice stretch, or you can reach back behind your back and go for your right hand and grab your hands behind your shoulder blades. Take a couple deep breaths here, focusing on expanding your chest upward and outward on the inhale. And release your arms, taking a deep breath in, reach your left hand up, and then bringing it back between your shoulder blades. And you can use your right hand on your left elbow, or you can reach your right hand behind you towards your left hand and hold on to them. You can use a strap here to bring your hands closer. Take a couple deep breaths here as well. And then release both hands to the ground in front of you and walk them forward. We're coming into a sort of child's pose, but with our toes still tucked. Bring your head to the floor and just rest here for a moment. And then walk your hands over to the right side of your mat. Place your forehead on the mat and take a couple deep breaths. Now walk your hands to the left. And same thing, head on the mat, take a couple deep breaths. Walk your hands back to center, and then walk them towards your body, bringing your body back upright. Now placing your hands firmly on the ground in front of you, come into tabletop position, spread your knees a little bit wider than your hips. And now bring your right foot to between your hands at the front of the mat. It doesn't have to look graceful, just get it there however you can. And then maybe scoot your left knee back a little bit so your right knee is directly over your right ankle. With your hands firmly planted on the ground or some blocks, hug your body close to your right thigh and then drop your chin towards your chest and take a couple deep breaths here. And then straighten your right leg, sending your hips back over your left knee and flex your right foot. You can put your hands on the floor or on some blocks and drop your head down. Taking some deep breaths here to feel the deep stretch in your right leg. Bend your right knee, coming back over the front. Take a deep breath in and bring your hands to your right knee, lifting your chest. Take a couple deep breaths here, pushing your hips forward and lifting your chest upward. Now straighten your right leg, bring your hands down to the blocks or the ground, and bring your body over your right thigh for another deep runner stretch. Plant your right foot down, bend your right foot again. Plant your hands on either side of your right foot and send it back, your right foot, to meet your left in tabletop position again. Wag your tail a little bit, loosen up your hips and spine. And now bring your left foot between your hands, however you can, so that your knee is directly over your left ankle and your hands are firmly planted on the ground. Have both of your hips facing forward, and then bringing your body close to your left thigh, tuck your chin towards your chest and take a couple deep breaths here. And straighten your left leg, sending your hips back over your right knee. And either put your hands on some blocks or the ground and let your body fall towards your left leg, your left foot flexed. Take some deep breaths. Bend your left leg, planting your left foot firmly on the ground. And take a deep breath in, coming up so your hands are on your left knee, lifting your chest and sending your hips forward to the front of the mat. Breathe deeply. And straighten your left leg. Bring your body over your left thigh. Let your head just hang. Take a couple deep breaths here. Plant your hands firmly on the ground and send your left foot back so that you're in tabletop position again, wagging your tail a little bit. Spread your knees as wide as your mat and sink your hips back to over your heels and come into child's pose, placing your forehead on the mat. Take a few slow, deep breaths here. Using your hands, walk your body back upright. And then come onto your seat and bring your legs in front of you, fully extended. Take a deep breath in, reaching your arms up overhead. And exhale, forward fold. You can grab your toes or your ankles, whatever is comfortable for you. And then just let your head drop, let gravity pull on your body. Feel the stretch in the backs of your legs and your spine. take a deep breath, expanding your chest to the front of the mat, straightening your spine as much as you can. And then exhale, use your core to pull your body towards your legs, coming as close to your legs as you can, mostly with core strength. It may not be very far, but see how it goes. And then slowly, one vertebra at a time, roll your body to upright. Now hug your right knee in towards your chest and then bring your right foot towards your left hip, stacking your right knee directly over your left knee. Your left leg still extended out front. Flex your left foot, bring your toes towards you. Take a deep breath in, lifting your arms up overhead. And then exhale, forward fold, letting your body and head just hang down. And then slowly, one vertebra at a time, bring your body back to upright. Release your right leg so it's extended out front. Now hug your left knee into your chest and bring your left foot over to your right hip, stacking your left knee over your right knee. Flex your right foot, bringing your toes towards your body. Take a deep breath in, reaching up with your hands. And then exhale, forward fold, letting gravity pull your head and body. And then slowly, one vertebra at a time, roll your body back to upright. Release your left leg, and then bring the soles of your feet together into a butterfly pose. You can have your feet as close or far away from your body as you'd like. You can put some blocks under your knees if that helps make it more comfortable for you. Grab your feet with your hands and take a deep breath in, expanding your chest forward and up. And when you exhale, walk your hands forward a little bit and just let your head hang. Place your palms facing up and just let gravity do the stretch here, pulling on your body and your head. You can place some blocks under your head if you'd like to rest, or you can just let it hang. Keeping your legs where you're at, place your palms facing down and push against the ground to walk your body back upright. And now bring your hands behind you and walk them back until your body is completely flat on the ground. So you're lying on your back with your legs in butterfly pose. You can let your hands fall to your sides, palms facing up. And we'll just breathe slowly and calmly here. Bring your knees back upright so the soles of your feet are flat on the ground. Hug your knees into your chest to bring them as close as you can. Breathe here, expanding your chest, trying to fill the gap between your legs with your rib cage. And then release your legs forward, coming into our final resting pose, Shavasana. Hands out to the sides, palms facing up, and breathe calmly and slowly. Begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe make some circles with your wrists. And take a deep breath in. Reach your arms up overhead for a big morning stretch. And then come onto your side in the fetal position, whichever side is comfortable for you. And then using your top hand, push your body up to upright. Come into a seated position. Take a deep breath in, reaching your arms up overhead. Exhale, hands together at heart center. One more time, a big breath, reaching your arms up overhead. Exhale, hands together at heart center. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this quick stretch for the backs of the legs. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe.